Our guest speaker is Dr. Lekem Samaj. He's no stranger to Jamaica or Jamaicans. He's a consulting psychologist, a change agent, and motivational speaker. He's been involved in Jamaican media as a newspaper columnist, a radio show presenter, and television host. One of his achievements was Man and Woman Story with Professor Caroline Cooper, which won a Press Association Award and pioneered the popular television program Mantalk. Dr. Samaj graduated with a Bachelor of Arts cum laude from City College in New York, and she has a PhD, MSc and PhD from Rutgers University in the United States of America. The psychologist believes that by working with your ideas or human capital and each other or social capital, we can change the world. And I think this is the same thing with families. And he's very concerned about the role of active fathering in nation building and addresses these issues in a variety of forms. Can we please welcome our guest speaker, Dr.
Thank you, members of the head table, people here present. Indeed, my privilege to be here. You know, when I was asked to participate in this function, I thought there was something cosmic about it because I had already decided that I'm going to take part in the 3 5Ks in the series. And interestingly, in the first one, I came third in my age group category. And then I adjusted my training schedule and I came second in the second. So clearly now we have to program the next one now. Would be a letdown if I didn't come first, you know. But I'm up against some stiff competition, you know. And I've actually bribed my youngest son, you know, well, threatened him, you know, to participate in it so that we can really generate the whole process of father-son. Also, I think this came to my mind a while ago. Dr. Jared and myself are both connected with the same little district in the hill of Clarendon, a little place called Desire. You ever say it with Desire? It's 2 miles from Frankfield. You're looking from Desire, looking down on Frankfield, and when you're going down to Frankfield, to town, we walk barefoot because we're country picnic. And then when you cross the rear million now, you wash your foot and put on your shoes. Right, Carly? No, there's a beautiful little district, you know. Now, in prefacing my opening statement, I think I want to put it in the context of chronics. You know, that line that Chronic said that it is me one with pants on waist, right? Now, it is me one who still believe that a family is the smallest unit of a people, and a family is a man and a woman. So I will be the unpopular one. Man and dog, woman and puss, 2 woman, 2 man. Irrespective of what anybody else say, the smallest unit of a people is man and woman. Anything smaller than that can't replace itself. So we can call it anything else, but I can't call it that. So you can sign me out and write me out and read me out and all of that. Now, I've always thought as a psychologist, the whole notion that we just have to consume other people's thoughts is not enough for me. The same that all the other psychologists will learn about. They were bold enough to look at the universe and create their own ideas. I felt free to do the same thing. And as I looked around, I saw human development, a model which I call a social psychological model, that the stages are very simple. The first stage is child, just trying to figure out how Earth set up. The second stage is called adolescence, which technically is the word mean adult less sense. You're almost adult but you don't have a sense, right? That's automatic. At that stage, you're defined by your external genitalia and your internal hormone secretions, that's all. The next stage is called adult. Simple, but that's not automatic. The only way you make it into this place called adult is by working. If you're not working, you can't call yourself adult. Anybody who feed you, own you. So that if you hook up with somebody, them don't bring anything to the... anything times 0 is 0. So if you're a half a man and hook up with a half a woman, half times half is quarter. you're worse off than it was before. So might as well just go on, jokes. Now, if you link with somebody and them don't bring something to the table, check them pocket. You're going to find knife and fork. Because them come near you out. Alright? So I call it the way I see it. Now, we have two basic needs as human beings. The first is work. And work is the ante that gets you into adulthood. The second is intimacy. If both of those two areas of your life working, you don't even need water to drink. Just a walk around and smile. If both of those in trouble, please, if you go in the hardware store, don't go by where the rope sell. Don't go beach. Right? Don't go beach. And don't go on high-rise buildings. Right? Work and intimacy. Both of those in place. Now, once you master work, it qualifies you for intimacy. And then work plus intimacy qualifies you for the highest level of adult functioning. That's called parenting. Now, we have a problem in Jamaica. Many bypass work and bypass intimacy and breed and catch hell for the rest of them life. So we have to call it the way it is. And again, another word I try to define for the young people is that a parent is somebody who can pay rent. Simple enough. So that some people have to go back and apologize to their parents when they leave here. Mama never really understand, All time people say, gentlemen, find a place to put your head before. No, it must clean up a little more than that, man. You must edit it a little bit. All right. Now, so that's part of the reality. We know the rules, right? And it's as a result of that we have a fairly dysfunctional society. So how do we look at fathers and families for the future? Now, I put a lot of the pressure on the women. Let me tell you why. The only way a man can get himself into the next generation is with the consent of women. Unless it's rape, you rape her. If you rape her, she must call police. Right? The only way he gets himself into the next generation, he has to get access to a woman's womb. And he does so with her permission. But I think we have the problem in Jamaica that too many Jamaican women give men the option to be irresponsible. I can take care of children myself. All you have to do is breathe and go about your business. And in fact, the more educated she is the more she's willing to give men those options. The man has 5 baby mother and don't support none of the people in them. And him say, love me and my one line with gold, and next thing you know, you are number 6. And I say, how the man so wicked? The other issue that I come to know is one of the most powerful force that determine how a man treats his children is the woman he lives with. I know many men have to hide and give them other pick me anything. Because the woman him live with, whether it's his wife or not. He said, boy, I know say old fire stick easy to catch up, I know why you're gonna go get nothing. I remember a number of artists have unburdened themselves from, when a man catch up on a plane, coming from wherever, and the first class, and the man just unload upon you, Said, Doc, you want to know, say, if I don't know anything better, You see all them women there, but that's around the whole of them. So we really have a context. That's why I'm so happy for the program called Man Talk. We need some serious conversations, man and man reason in Jamaica. We're not having them. We're not having those conversations at all. So I really hope that out of this is a one-time thing, that there are about 287 organizations in Jamaica that are committed to the development of women. Fathers Inc. and the prison system is the only thing I know specialize in men. All right? So that we need the University of West Indies, the little, circle, and let's convert the women's studies into gender studies. But we know it's a game still. Gender still means women. There's no real discussion about men. Jamaica has a man problem. When female are underdeveloped, them get pregnant. when male are underdeveloped, they first become parasites and they become predators. They become kill you. So we keep our universities now 85% female, 15% male. The law school has been 88% female for the last 10 years, and most of their clients are men, right? And we're not looking at that. 30 years ago, when Professor Errol Miller and myself started talking about we're leaving the males behind, people call us chauvinists. So what are you talking about? The women, yeah, no, go on. I saw a wonderful picture of, it's supposed to represent single men, intelligent, educated, in terms of long-term commitments. And all is a picture with just chairs in a room, empty. The man never reached it. So we leave the males behind, the families suffer. And in some very, very interesting ways. This thing about being a man, being able to feed yourself, is critical. If you can't feed yourself, Captain Lamy points out that you're either a pet, a child, or a domesticated animal. Now, when I think of Jamaica spending $1 billion US to import other people's food, what that makes us then? Pet? Now, I try to make sure that, because there's so little being said to the man then, that I try and represent that. So my message to the man then is that, gentlemen, you need to place more value on your sperm. I don't think it's valued sufficiently for that powerful of what that represents. Gentlemen, you must process sexual attraction through the lens of head, meaning sound judgment, and heart, good feelings, without pathological emotional attachment. Sexual attraction, good, necessary, but process it through head and heart. When you bring your head down to the level of your heart, we call that rationalization. When you elevate your heart up to the level of head, we call that maturity and wisdom. So that, can you imagine man now to start takes things more serious, and even some women that try to show themselves and just say, get thee behind me, Satan. But be careful now. She get there and push you in it, but you have to, right? So we really want, if the man them don't stand firm, literally and figuratively, not now go on. Alright? So if you're going to get the families to work, we have to start trying to raise the level of the man there. Now, why is that critical? One of the most critical things that I have looked at, is this whole notion of a father's name on a birth certificate. I'm glad that 2 years ago, Ronnie Tweed started talking about making sure that I breed dogs, and when I sell somebody a pup, I give you, the sire, the dam, the grand, the great-grand, the great-great-grand, 4 generations on both sides. And the average Jamaican don't know them puppa. That's serious. That's a serious, serious thing. Many times when I do workshops, I play music at the beginning, and there's a song that always just makes the eyes just start get glary. Luther Vandross, Dance with My Father. And so he asks, how many women have actually danced with their father, or said knowingly, because you may not even know, says your father here, that, And I see 2 hands go up or 3 hands go up, where so many women don't know their fathers. Now, the implication of when a father is absent or present from a family is incredible. We understand the boy's side. There's no substitute for the father's president. The increase in juvenile delinquency, sexual abuse, substance abuse, dropout from high school, 6 times higher for children whose biological father is not part of their life. And we see this process going in so many. It's more important for the father to be there to attend the football match than even to give you something. A lot of fathers stay up because they don't have anything to give you. Right? And I remember my youngest son, he was in prep school, he was playing a football match, and he was playing right back. And because of his negligence, his team lost with their own goal that he allowed to score. The man a ball. No, I felt if I wasn't there to just hug him after the match. Huh? Another time we went somewhere together and he was playing rough and he fell. And I just went over and I held him up and said, "You good?" Alright. And he said, "Daddy, I'm happy you are here and not mommy." She just go and kiss him up and go like that, pick me. And so, I mean, I said, "Come on." You understand what I mean? Because that's where the male energy comes in, Mother has the nurturing spirit, but father, no, come on, soldier, come, jump up, man, jump up. And, bother with the crying again, him just come forward and so on. So just having that energy here, so we can find a way. The ultimate card a mother can draw upon a boy is to point in their face and wait till your father come home. No, as a boy growing up, you can't afraid of your mother. Well, I was afraid of my mother, alright? My mother was a terrorist, alright? But I couldn't tell nobody that. You can't tell nobody, "Well, I remember going because mother will kill me." They will laugh after you. But you see, my father will kill me now, that sound better. Right? That sound better. But the fact that mother can't draw that card. So as a boy growing up, you're supposed to resist your mother. Because if you don't, you'll become your mother. Right? And my mother wanted me to start the food until she come home and start. I said, "No, man, no." But guess what? In my household now, when I reach home, it's me cook. Because my wife take too long to line up this and set up this and... But my mother can't go so boom, bam, bam, boom, bam, bam, rice and peas and everything done. Half hour. Right? The ultimate multitasking. Right? But here they know. But, raw rice. But I'm saying that the role of the... Now, the research has also showed us now that the issue about the father is not just the father and son. The father and daughter probably is even more critical. You ever wonder why we have things like no panty day on the bus? You are aware that there's a no panty day. Right. Now, when a girl has no father present, no father who is telling you how you are beautiful, how you're a princess, and telling you all of those things, the first dog conductor rub against your skin catch fire. And the first time him offer you a ride, not recognizing that there's a cost for the ride. A ride begets a ride. And the whole dynamics of not seeing, I'm glad you pointed out that, not seeing your parents have an argument and have a disagreement, and they come back together again. One of the things that I'm planning a series of sessions is a 3-hour party. Right? It's a party session. But the theme of the party is constructive disengagements. How to end a relationship without killing each other. Right? I put together all the music already. The first 2 hours, we're going to play every song about breaking up. Because, Marley, she's gone. If you see me crying, Sizzler, just one of those days. Wayne Wonder, the saddest day of my life. It's enough, man, go through them things, to just carry you through it and then realize that, look, they will come to tank. And withdraw a tank. I can't make you love me if you don't want to. So work people through the emotions in a party session. So by the time you leave, you get over them. Probably play Gloria Gaynor and all them something like that. Yeah? But you see, we have to find a way to help people to resolve or dissolve relationships without killing each other. And enough of that going on still because we don't know. Because so many people never saw how their parents work it out. You never see the kind of disagreement, you never see it, and you find a way to make it happen. Now, what the data is also showing us is that just the biological father's presence in a household has a direct socio-biological impact on the development of girls. One of the things it does, it delays the onset of menstruation. Her maturation is delayed. I mean, nature is an incredible thing. If a girl, adolescent, growing up in an environment where what she's surrounded by is males that she is not biologically connected to, her maturation accelerates, both socially and psychologically and biologically. Every day I call to the stand 5. Yes, you look nice today, All food's ripe. Every day you're getting that. and not getting the other thing. When a girl can go in her father's bed and hug up next to daddy, and daddy come and you hug up daddy, and you do so in a harmless manner, and he tells you all these wonderful things and so on. What it does in terms of the data shows that the relationship between her and men in the future is shaped by that. Just by having a biological person that she is biologically related to. So you can understand sometimes many stepfathers in Jamaica, with all the incidents we're hearing about how stepfathers oftentimes violate, because there's not that biological boundary. And then they say, boy, the girl that put it on my face, the girl that bring it to me, you know. Because the little girl, she's supposed to flex and but you as the male now, you're supposed to balance it and to hold it in context and give her a chance to try out her charms and so on. So not having a chance to do this. Early puberty may be a response to the high rates of conflict and stress in divorced and blended families. In the case of remarriage or blended families, early menstruation may result from the presence of non-related males in the home. This seems to trigger sexual readiness. The earlier and the longer the exposure to a stepfather or an unrelated male adult in the household, the stronger the impact gets. So that we have to find a way to know, literally, I start with encouraging women to stop encouraging men to have the option to be irresponsible. Make it clear what your standards are, what you stand for, what you want from a man. And literally let the man have to come up to those standards, and then you have to go down. I remind people that in traditional African society, when polygyny and monogamy coexisted, a lot of men had no wives. Because in order for you to have one wife, you have to first demonstrate you can hunt and you can build a hut. Now in Jamaica, all a man have to do is to pull down his pants down and walk funny, and him have enough girl. Ladies, you have to start to say, no boss, not in my cabinet, right? Make sure them know, so well then, it's not that, but it is that you want the mark to provide more of those things, right? So that if we are to build the kind of families that we need, absolutely, that male becoming a man in the context of a household. This weekend they had the press dinner in Washington, and they were playing back a clip from last year, and one of the jokes that Obama gave, he pointed out that the band, the Jonas Brothers, were playing, and that his daughters liked them, but he advised them to don't get any ideas. He just has 2 words for them: predator, drone. And you won't see it coming. No, that's what father's supposed to do. By being a father, you're supposed to have a license for a shotgun automatically. You're a father, yeah man, see it, Remington. You're supposed to have that. Because, automatically, there was a time in Jamaica, believe it or not, that if you're interested in a woman, you have to go talk to her father. And he asks you, young man, what's your station in life? Huh? What are your intentions vis-a-vis my daughter? No. What do we have now? Jim Screechy. Meet me round at the... My papa have peace give you. Right? So we have to start setting the agenda. So I do believe, first of all, man have to start talking to man in a broader context, because I think our male have been very jaded, because mothers have been doing most of the talking and female teachers. So they have been turning off from that. We must create a context now that man and man can talk more, and we can help this transition from boy to male to man. We have to start to present in some pro-social images of what man is about. Most of the images that many young people have of man are questionable. And even the research from Dr. Gale pointing out that, boys want to be like their father, whoever he is. So if he is a Dan, if he is a bad man, if he is a man can literally, pardon the expression, breed 10 women and do nothing to support any of them. Not to support the children. And 6 of the children will spend their life trying to find daddy. I was going to find, Daddy, and I love you so much, Daddy. That's how it's set up. But can you imagine now that if we did this proactively, and we start to put it into the scheme of things, and we just start to just reset the agenda in terms of how we define manhood and manliness, and we start tank around social responsibility, and then the ladies start raising the bar and said, no, you have to. I mean, a friend of mine, I won't call her name to protect the guilty. This gentleman, this man came to take her out, the first time when he arrived at the gate, and he had on sneakers. So she said, sneakers, but what that boss? Big man's a big man, he's not an athlete now, coming from big man. So she said, all right then, tell you what, let us. I was planning to, I didn't do my workout this morning, so I was planning to do my walk now. Maybe you can. So, boy, this is for walking, this I'm going out sneakers this. Big man. Right? You ever notice the big difference? Athletes and teeth wear sneakers to work. You go to a graduation. I've never seen a female at a graduation, high school graduation, have on sneakers. She have on black pumps and I should go straight from that. But half of the male at the graduation have on sneakers. Nobody will explain to them these things. That's what I'm talking about. Explain what man's about. The sneakers business, no, so I go. I was at a school, a secondary school in St. Anne. The boys wear a piece of cloth around their neck that look like a tie and a string tied around them. No, a school on North Street, that we will learn to tie proper, we learn to tie ties and so on and things. No, those boys will never learn to tie a tie. You realize most Jamaican men cannot tie a tie. I found that out recently when I was dealing with some men who were made redundant and helping them how you dress for the interview. And a man said, why, I have 3 ties, doc, and it's 27 years ago a man tied them for me, I'm going to just take time and ease them off. So I make a point of duty to keep a tie client clinic and to show how you make sure you guarantee that the tie must reach your belt. And I guarantee how you get it there. Twice I have seen men on a Sunday with a wicked suit on. Once in Stony Hill, another time in Port Maria, going into a supermarket to ask the manager, who is a woman, how to tie the tie. He might go funeral and can't tie the tie. And then the woman that tried to tie the tie upon him, almost hanging. You can't tie the tie on somebody else. I buy out the argument. I'm going to take the time, I'm going to tie it for him, I'm going to teach him how to tie the tie. Something as basic as that. Man, they give you all the reasons why, boy, man, if can't wear a tie, man, if wearing a jacket. A woman, I tell you, a